Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. Originally today I was going to review The Mummy with Safi, but I think that we don't have time really to do that today. So I'm pushing that off until Wednesday, I guess. I'll try to do a Wednesday. Making this movie, because I don't know if you guys know or not, or if you're new to the channel or not. Hello, and I'm going to try to let a fly out. Okay. Hopefully it got out. Oh, no, it's still in here. What an idiot fly. I mean, why whatever. Whatever. It's just, weird because it's going to suffocate to death probably if it stays here for a long period of time. But anyways, I am making a movie myself, and making a movie is a lot of work. And I really don't like YouTubers who, they make videos and they just talk about, like, I do videos, but, I'm so busy all the time. I'm so busy. Like, wah. Okay, get out, fly. Get out. There it goes. I really don't like that. That's actually why I stopped watching some channels. Like, there was this one channel, and they did, like, movie commentaries. And when they do commentaries, they talk about stuff that doesn't have to do with the movie sometimes. And, like, a lot of the times, it's just this really irritating and boring talk where they're just like, I'm so busy. Like, it's so hard to make videos. And it's like, just fuck off. Like, nobody wants to hear that when you talk about making videos. Like, they want to hear what you made the video about. And I know I'm guilty of doing that right now. But here's the thing. When this movie is finished, you guys will obviously be able to go see the movie, right? You'll be able to go watch the movie. You'll be able to go rent or buy it. So it's a little bit different. It's not like I'm just complaining about some office job or something useless like that. Anyways, for the millionth time, I have been a little bit busier lately. Well, a lot busier. Yesterday was a disaster because I was really, really trying to film a sequence from the movie. And I was trying to, I had to redesign these certain rooms, and I had to do all these setups, and there was all these complications that led to interesting discoveries and shots. And so I had to, like, watch a movie and review it at the last second yesterday. And that's sort of what I'm doing today as well, except I didn't watch a movie. I'm just doing another Goosebumps book. And this one was pretty good. It's obviously a very, very popular book. One Day at Horrorland. And this book, I didn't think it was the greatest book of all time. I didn't think it was the worst one. I was just kind of in the middle about it. It started off like I was going to really like it. I remember when I read this book, it was Halloween Day. And I made these apple cinnamon pancakes that were really, really good. And I had, those special pancakes, and I'm listening to this book. And it's such a fun experience to listen to Goosebumps books in general. And I was liking the book. It's similar to the episode, but it's different. And in particular, there's this really hilarious and awesome part where they're at the theme park and their car explodes. That was just the greatest thing ever. Like, it was so surprising to me. My jaw literally dropped when that happened. This family, they're looking for some place to go. I can't remember. In the episode, it was the zoo gardens or whatever the hell that is. Like, I've never heard of that before. Uh, but they go to this theme park to, I think, to ask for directions. And then in the book, their car blows up. And so they had no choice but to stay. Whereas in the episode, they could have said, you know what, let's just get back in our car. So I really did like that in the book. I thought that that was really great. Like, it was such a shock for a Goosebumps book for someone's car to blow up. Like in Say Cheese and Die, the car gets wrecked, but, it doesn't get blown up. So it was very shocking when that happened. And most of the book is very, very repetitive, where they're in this park and they're going on these different rides, and it's like, okay, what's this ride gonna be like? What's this ride gonna do? It's a little bit similar to Shocker on Shock Street in terms of that, and in terms of, R.L. Stine, he spent time to create like this own universe in this Horrorland, where these horrors, quote unquote, they have this like established facility with like all these different rides. And you could make stories about all those rides, like, oh, this one person died on that ride and this ride changed from that to that. And they have their own reality show, they have their own culture. It was very cool what he did with this book. It was a great idea, and it was so much better in terms of execution than Shocker on Shock Street, because in Shocker on Shock Street, a lot of what was in that book was dependent on whether or not you've heard of like any Shock Street movies, which I haven't. He never wrote any Shock Street movie books, and that would have been cool for him to do. So in that book, the characters, they're talking about, I love the Shock Street movies, I love that, I love that. Oh, there's the monster from Shock Street. Oh, there's the Shock House from Shock Street. And it's like, why would I care? Like, I don't know any of that stuff. Only these characters do. But in this book, it all makes sense because it's a theme park. And so it's all obviously stuff in the theme park. It's all there, and it was a little bit boring for me, though, like just repeating okay, the kids go on a ride, they get scared, they get really, really scared. And they're like, oh no, are we gonna die? Like, it's kind of over dramatic. The one where I really, really liked it was the coffin ride, where they go on a coffin trip. And I have claustrophobia. I'm sure a lot of people do. And oh god, that was freaky. That was very scary, honestly. That was another great part in this book, was when the kids, that's the last ride that they go on. And I will also say, just in terms of the structure, I think the episode does a better job at having like a plot structure, like showing the parents, showing the kids, showing the parents. And the book takes a really bad left turn. Like, up until this left turn, I would have probably given the book like a B- or a B. But then it takes this really bad left turn, where they go on this reality show, which really wasn't as entertaining as in the episode. But the worst part is when they remember the park has a no pinching rule. And then they start pinching all the monsters, and the monsters deflate? Like, what? Like, just, ugh, that was dumb. And that was really cartoony and kiddish. It was so much scarier in the episode. Like, the episode used to really, like, scare me as a kid. Like, especially the part where they meet with quote-unquote Ripper and everything. None of that stuff really is in this book in an effective way, because they just pinch their way out of it. I mean, it's funny. Like, I think it's funny, but I just didn't like it. And then they escape and they drive a bus home, and that leads to probably, I would say, my favorite twist in all of the books is one of the monsters, or I think a lot of monsters, hold on to the bus. And when they get home, when the family gets home, uh, which I gotta be honest, like it's impressive how long these monsters held on. Like, I don't know, like, what the truth is. Like, are they monsters? Are they people? Are they some sort of, like, friendly? Like, it's really strange. It's like a back and forth question that you go through in this book. But I gotta be honest, like, if those are actual human people clinging on to a school bus that drives for, like, hundreds of miles home, that's really impressive. You know what I mean? Like, that's really, really impressive and convenient plot-wise. But it is hilarious because one of the monsters jumps off, and the monster's just like, here's tickets for next year. Here's some free tickets for all of you to come to Horrorland next year. And that's actually one of my favorite twists, if not my favorite twist of all time. I mean, that was so funny, and it was it was another great left turn. Like, this book did have quite a few left turns in terms of, like, things that you didn't expect. And that was one of the ones that worked really well. Because obviously you expected them to kill the family. You expected it to be like a dark ending. But it wasn't. It was a very funny, nice ending to this book. I really like that a lot. So I would give this book a C+ overall. As I said before, the reason mostly why I give it this low grade is because of the stuff that happens in the second half where, you know, they pinch the monsters and they deflate like balloons. Like, that's just, ugh. I didn't like that. I thought, you know, at least he was thinking, you know, we got to have some way for the family to get out of this. And so, you know, pinching them, I guess, you know, it's an effective way to defeat these types of monsters, these horrors. But I think that he could have come up with something more creative and cooler than that. In the episode's case, of course, they don't have any way to defeat the monsters. There's actually a guy who is like a good monster, and he sacrifices himself. And I will also say this is one of the few exceptions where I think that the episode's twist is not as good as the book's twist. It's really unfortunate to me that we didn't get to see that ending from the book in the episode. Like, I think that would have been so much better, and it would have been so much cooler to have, like, you know, the episode is almost perfect. It is definitely like an A- episode. But if they had that ending on there, the original ending, it would definitely be an A+ for me. So anyways, please like this video, comment, tell me what you thought of the book, because I know a lot of people love this book. They think it's the best one of the series. I don't know, like, I've had fun times reading almost every book. So, like, it's really tough. It's getting so tough for me to rank these books. Because I gotta close off the fact that reading them is fun. And remember, I have to rank based on the book itself and not the experience. The fun experience is reading these books. So please subscribe to our channel as well if you'd like to see more Goosebumps book reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.